Welcome to another episode of the pop-up tours at the York County History's Fire Museum. Today, we're going to talk about early firefighting equipment. In the early days of the city of York, you either had a bucket like this available, or you would have to find a water source like a water trough. If a fire would occur, you would immediately run out with your bucket, form a line, and pass the bucket up to the guy up front to throw the water onto the fire, and then pass the empty bucket back down the line. You do this several times. While eventually the fire could be put out, it was very ineffective. So over time, as evolution occurred, pieces like this came into play. This piece actually was built 1847 outside of the city of York in Emmonsville, and it actually is known as a coffee grinder. Basically, it still does the bucket brigade, where individuals would take the buckets, throw the water in the back of the unit. These arms would be reversed and would have people cranking to force the water up through a hose, which could shoot the water a further stream and more precise at the fire. This gave you the opportunity of making water more available at a quicker pace. It was a little bit better than the bucket brigade, but it was still tied to you have to supply the water from a water source. As I mentioned with the 1847 piece, that was based upon the bucket brigade. With the advancement of wooden logs put into the ground by the York Water Company in 1816, this gave you the ability to have water available to help fight the fires. Along with that, technology did change, and we now have a unit from the Goodwill, 1853, is known as the Hornet. This again is a hand-drawn apparatus that would be pulled out to the fire scene. Once it was there, you would take the hoses, you would go to where the wooden log would be buried, and if you were a member of that company, you knew where it was buried. You would uncover it, you would actually drill a hole, let the water come out, throw the hose into the water source, and then by pumping these back and forth, it created suction that would pull the water from the water into itself and back out. This gave you the ability not to rely on the bucket brigade, but having a water source readily available to continue to fight the fire. With the 1847 piece, that would only work as long as you had a water source available. Once the water was no longer available, it can no longer do its job. This unit gave you that ability to continue to fight the fire as long as there was a water source available through the wooden logs. Again, this is hand-drawn. It would be pulled to the fire scene, hook up the hoses, and then two individuals would pump back and forth. That would pull the water out of the ground, into itself, and back out through the hose, and you could direct that to the fire. Again, hand-drawn apparatus. We would pull it out by several individuals, but two people would actually operate it by, again, pumping motion. This was an advancement with the fire apparatus, from going from the bucket brigade to the availability of having a water source to help fight the fire. Again, thank you for coming to the York County History Center's Fire Museum, again, one of our pop-up tours. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you want to see more, please feel free to visit our webpage or stop by the museum when we're reopened. Thank you so much. Bye.